Greetings nerdy list aficionados, and welcome back to Top 10 Nerd, and we're still in hookup territory. Today we're looking at another villain. Today it's Poison Ivy. Now Poison Ivy, despite her persona, is not actually someone who hooks up with many people because, well, she can't stand most of them. And that includes some of the ones she hooks up with. Except for Harley, she likes her the most. Most of the time. Definitely post New 52. I'm Sasha, and these are the top 10 people Poison Ivy has hooked up with, and in some cases, kissed control. Let's get started. Number 10. Poison Ivy and Catwoman. Poison Ivy and Catwoman have worked together on more than one occasion, most notably during the Gotham City Sirens run. While most gravitated towards Harley and Ivy there, despite some intense emotional manipulation of Ivy on Harley's part, there were some who felt there was more of a pull between these two, the aforementioned. The Hush animated adaptation upped her control of Selina to include a kiss. And well, to go back to the Sirens, there was that road trip issue, and well, all of the thruppling that happened there. Some feel that Catwoman is more fun when she is full villainous, and you don't get that with Batman. Still, this one stays more in the realm of fandom, and even there it can be pretty rare. Number 9. Poison Ivy and Superman. Speaking of Batman Hush, Poison Ivy kissed more than Catwoman there. She was exerting maximum control over Superman, aka Clark Kent, to turn him into her personal servant, with her usual pheromone mix plus synthetic kryptonite, cause that works. Don't think about it, just let it happen. This led to some of those famous panels of Poison Ivy coiled around Superman, the type of panels that are pretty enticing, even just on a curiosity level. Like, these two don't normally move in the same circles, what's going on? This whole encounter flirts with the concept of an evil Superman, and as sales and public discourse indicate, most people are down for that. This would be quite the evil power couple. No one would kill a plant again. Number 8. Poison Ivy and Supergirl. So Poison Ivy was actually Supergirl's first kiss. Fun fact. So that's a thing. This occurred in 2005 in Supergirl Volume 5 Issue 0. Issue 0 is just an annoying number, but there you have it. Supergirl encounters Poison Ivy when she teams up with Batgirl, who has Ivy and Harley under surveillance. And when the two swoop in to stop their heist, Poison Ivy attempts the same technique she used to control her Kryptonian cousin, namely a kiss laced with synthetic kryptonite. This issue is actually pretty good. There's a solid Clayface reveal that plays with who knows whose identity and why it matters. This garnered some attention at the time cause, well, two ladies kissing. Oh my goodness. Number 7. Poison Ivy and Superboy. Let's just go through the whole super family. Next up, Crypto. This right here is part of why Crisis on Infinite Earths happened. Poison Ivy has locked lips with both 90s Superboy and well-updated hipster Superman shirt Superboy, who are really the same person minus a retcon or two. Also, Connor is back to his 90s persona, which now seems disturbingly trendy and retro. I'm not ready for the 90s to be retro yet. Also, yeah, this whole thing is actually pretty uncomfortable, and speaks to a lot of double standards. The covers and the panels, if you flip this, well, people would flip tables. The hipster Connor arc was done by Jeff Lemire though, so if you want to read some early Lemire work, there you go. You're welcome. How do you like your Poison Ivy? Do you like her having to kiss them, or do you prefer it when she can just work with them with her pheromones from a distance? Let me know down below. Number 6. Poison Ivy and the Floronic Man. So Poison Ivy, like all characters, has gone through some character shifts over time, and that includes exactly how she is connected to plants. In modern iterations, it has come to be tied to the Swamp Thing mythos, that being the green. So this has brought her into contact with other members of that ethos, which includes the Floronic Man. But the thing is, him and Poison Ivy actually have a bit of a convoluted history that predates this. He is tied to her post-crisis origin, wherein he is one of the professors she studied under. In fact, he seduces her and experiments on her, injecting her with toxins and commencing her transformation into Poison Ivy. Years later, and some retcons in between them, the two would find themselves teaming up for the sake of the green and world domination. And this would lead to a bit of a romantic fling fueled by old conflicted feelings and the pull of the green. It makes sense, but do you want it? That is the question. Number 5. Harley Quinn. I know, only at number 5. Blasphemy. Call the Coast Guard. However, is Harley a superhero? Some say she is, while others say she isn't, and some will assign her anti-hero status. However you classify her, her relationship with Ivy is significant. Her and Harley have a long history dating back to the Batman animated series, and their relationship was always hinted at as more than friends, but would become overtly so in the comics, especially post New 52. They are often depicted in the modern era with an idealized, conflict-free relationship. The conflict tends to come from the outside, not within, and are heralded as bastions of positivity. Just don't think about the body count. Harley and Ivy have been adapted into many different forms, from Elseworld stories to video games, and will most likely stick around for some time. There is much more to explore with these two, including the dark seeds that were sown, not only when they met, but in Gotham City Sirens for one thing. Number 4. Harvey Dent. This comes to us from Batman the Animated Series, and is actually the episode wherein we first meet Poison Ivy, Pretty Poison. In this episode, Pamela sets up a relationship with District Attorney Harvey Dent, pre-Two-Face. This is so that she can poison him as revenge for developing the land where a rare plant species grew. She would poison him with, of course, poison lipstick. Ironically, once all of this fell through, because of course it did, she would end up imprisoned in the prison built where the land had been developed. Harvey was in deep. He wanted to marry her. This of course would lead to Poison Ivy and Two-Face having a more antagonistic relationship than they may have otherwise. Number 3. Bruce Wayne. Yes, he's getting a separate number than his caped counterpart. No, not cause they're separate people, but because Poison Ivy doesn't know Bruce Wayne is Batman, so these are separate instances. Bruce Wayne has found himself kidnapped by Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. During this encounter, the two controlled him for his money with, you guessed it, lipstick. They use his money to go on a shopping spree and make him carry what they buy. Bruce seems mostly annoyed by this occurrence, more than anything else. He has real crimes to stop. And he likes to spend his money on themed gadgets. They're cramping his style. Number 2. Poison Ivy and Robin. Poison Ivy has found herself crossing paths with Robin on multiple occasions, and this has led to her controlling the Boy Wonder more than once. We of course have the Batman TS occurrences and then the comic panel ones. It tends to be Dick Grayson this happens to, and this plot point was even picked up in the much maligned Camp Fest Batman and Robin, where he manages to defeat this technique by putting latex on his lips. Truly, Batman has all the tech. Poison Ivy is just working her way closer and closer to Batman with each person she controls, which of course leads us to number 1. Number 1. Batman. When Poison Ivy first debuted back in Batman number 181 in 1966, she was initially introduced as a femme fatale type with a Betty Page haircut, and she was a love interest for Batman, a temptress who was there to potentially throw him off the path of good. Didn't he already have Catwoman, you say? You can have more than one. Variety is the spice of life. However, over time, this attraction she had to him would become something else. It would become more malicious as she became more misanthropic, and it would be a manipulation, and the fact that he can resist her most of the time frustrates rather than intrigues her. Their relationship has evolved and shifted, but this is still an angle that some people can and do choose to explore. I'm Sasha, and thanks so much for watching Top 10 Nerd. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell notification so that you never miss a vid, and we will see you again soon. Bye bye.